Good morning, dear students. This is Pandey from KV number 3, Sagar. Today we have our second chapter of honeysuckle. That lesson deals with the most loved, loyal, and long-time friend of human beings. You can guess which animal is that? Yes, this animal is dog. So we have a story of taming of dogs in this chapter. But before we go for this chapter, for this story, we should look at the word dog, how this word has been used in English language. Okay, so we are going to look at it. How interestingly this word is used in idioms or in proverbs. Alright, dear students, let's learn them, then we'll go for the story. Here we go. As crooked as a dog's hind leg. This expression means dishonest. When somebody is dishonest, it can be used. This term can be used. He is as crooked as a dog's hind leg. So here is the example. The politician is as crooked as a dog's hind leg and nobody likes him. Of course, who is dishonest? He is not liked by anybody. Alright, dear students. Now let's look at the second idiom here. As sick as a dog. When somebody is very sick. What is the meaning of it? Very sick. As sick as a dog, it means very sick. When somebody is very sick, it can be said that he is as sick as a dog. Okay, so here let's look at the example. My friend was as sick as a dog when he left the restaurant last night. So last night my friend was very sick when he left the restaurant. Okay, I hope you understand and you are enjoying it too. Let's look at few more examples of using this word. Okay, here's the next. Better to be the head of a dog than the tail of a lion. What is the meaning of this expression? It is better to be leader of a small group than a follower of a bigger one. This is the meaning of it. That it is better to be a leader of a small group rather than being a follower in a bigger group. It is about your self-respect. Okay, let's look at the example. The young athlete always played for his hometown team rather than moving to a larger city with a bigger team. He thought that it was better to be the head of a dog than the tail of a lion. Alright, dear students. So you understand the meaning of better to be head of a dog than the tail of a lion. Okay, let's move further. Rain, cats and dogs. This idiom is used to express the meaning to rain very hard. When it rains very hard, this term is used. Rain, cats and dogs. It has been raining cats and dogs all day. It means it has been raining heavily. It has been a heavy downpour. It had been a very hard rain. Okay, so you understand? Rain, cats and dogs. Okay, let's move further. Another term is here, work like a dog. This expression is used to express to work very hard. When somebody is working very hard, we can say that he is working like a dog. As in our this period of corona, our doctors are working like a dog, means they are working very hard. The boy worked like a dog on his school project. The boy worked very hard for completing his school project. Okay, the next expression, you cannot teach an old dog new tricks. It's a proverb. You cannot teach an old dog new tricks. What is the meaning of it? It is difficult for older people to learn new things. Older people has difficulty in learning new things. The old man or the old woman cannot learn new things easily. That is the meaning of it. Suppose some grandfather, some elderly man is not able to operate an Android phone, so we can say you cannot teach an old dog new tricks. All right, you understand the expression? Okay, let's move further. Now let's have the introduction to the story. The dog and the wolf are closely related animals. You know it. You may also know something about how over the centuries human beings have domesticated and tamed wild animals. How human beings made these animals their servants. So here is this story, how the dog became a tame animal. But before beginning the story, we have a slide for facts. Some facts are here according to some history. Dogs were first tamed by humans perhaps 20,000 years ago. You know, dear friends, when these dogs were made servants or they were tamed by the human beings, our race of human beings, it became friendly with dogs, and dogs served human beings like their masters. So it was the first example that can be seen somewhere, that is 20,000 years ago. And the tame dogs were brought from Asia to the New World. New World means, New World is the Western countries in history, that is called New World. The America and the Western countries, they are called the New World. So tame dogs were brought from Asia to the New World 5,000 or more years ago. Means in Asia it had been already 15,000 years. Then the Western countries came to know about the use of tamed dogs. All right, and they started it some 5,000 years ago. And in the beginning, the dogs were used for hunting. All right, so these are the facts, and now let's move ahead. Let's have our chapter number 2. The title of this chapter is How the Dog Found Himself a New Master. Okay, dear friends, let's have the text here, the story. Dogs were once their own masters and lived the way the wolves do, in freedom. Until a dog was born who was ill-pleased with his way of life. He was sick and tired. He was sick and tired of wandering about by himself looking for food and being frightened of those who were stronger than he. So here we see that dogs were free like other animals until a dog, to the time when a dog was born, who thought that it is not a good life, that he has to search for food by himself and he has to be afraid of other animals who are stronger than he. So the story starts from here. Okay, let's move ahead. He thought it over and decided that the best thing for him to do was to become the servant. What was the best thing? To become the servant of one who was stronger than anyone on earth. He had some idea. He started thinking over it, that how can I stop this miserable life? I have to search for food and I have to be afraid of other animals. So he thought on this for a time, and then he set out to find such a master who was stronger than anyone. He thought that he should become a servant of someone who is stronger than anyone on the earth, and I will be free forever. Okay, let's move. What happens next? He walked and walked, and he met a kinsman of his, a big wolf, who was as strong as he was fierce. So this was a wolf, the first animal that the dog comes to meet, that is his kinsman, relation of the same family. He met a kinsman, a big wolf. Okay, it was very big, it was very strong, and it was very fierce. It was looking dangerous. Okay, the dog was feeling fearful at looking at him. So this wolf was the first animal that the dog met. What happens? Where are you going, dog? The wolf asked. The wolf asked him, where are you going? I am looking for someone to take up service with. Would you like to be my master, wolf? He said, I am looking for someone to take up service with. Would you like to be my master, wolf? I want to be servant, in simple words, and wolf, can you become my master? So the wolf agreed. Wolf said, okay, all right, I have no problem. The two of them went on together, and they continued on their way. The dog agreed to serve this wolf, and the wolf agreed to take the service of the dog. Okay, dear students, you understand the story by now? Let's move to the next paragraph. They walked, and all of a sudden the wolf lifted his nose, sniffed, darted quickly off the path and into the bushes and crept deeper into the forest. The dog was surprised. The wolf said, there is a bear out there. There is a bear out there, and he might eat up both of us. They were walking on their way. Suddenly, wolf lifted his nose and tried to smell something and ran away quickly from there. And he went deeper into the forest, in the dense forest, and dog was surprised at this scene. And the wolf answered his surprise. He said, dear dog, can you not see a bear is coming from there? And you know, a bear is very powerful. He can eat both of us together. All right? So it is time to hide here. Seeing that the bear was stronger than the wolf, the dog decided to take up service with him, and he left the wolf and asked the bear to be his master. They walked on and soon saw a herd of cows. But just as they were about to come up to it, they were stopped by a terrible noise. So what happens next? When the dog finds that the bear is stronger than wolf, he decides quickly that he has to become servant of the bear, not the wolf. He leaves the wolf there and he becomes servant of the bear. They walked and soon they stopped. Means the master stopped, the bear stopped. They were about to hunt a herd of cows, a group of cows there, but suddenly they stopped. And they were stopped by a terrible noise. What was this terrible noise? Let's see. The bear said, "Here is the strongest beast on earth." The strongest beast on earth. Well, then I'll say goodbye to you, bear. I want a master who is stronger than anyone on earth. The dog was very practical. As he came to know that lion is the strongest beast on earth, he said instant goodbye. He said goodbye to the bear the very moment when he heard that this is the strongest beast on earth that is coming from there, and he always wanted a master who is stronger than anyone on earth. And he moved ahead. Let's see next what happens in this story. And off the dog went to ask the lion to be his master. Now he asked the lion to be his master. The lion agreed to it. Lion said, "What is the issue?" "There is no issue. I agree. I keep you my servant. I take up your service." And the dog stayed with him and served him for a long. And dog enjoyed it and served the lion for a long time. It was a good life for dog. And he had nothing to complain of. There was no problem in his life. There was no complaint. No one dared touch the dog or offend him in any way. No animal dared. All the animals were afraid of the lion. So dog has had a very, very easy life in the forest. The lion was like a don, and the dog was the man of a don. So nobody was going to touch this dog. The dog was the second boss. He enjoyed this bosshood with the lion for a long time in the forest. Okay, let's move further. But one day, the two of them were walking side by side along a path. When all of a sudden, what happens all of a sudden? The lion gave a great roar. Then he began to back away very quietly. The dog was surprised. What was this happening? One day, when dog and his master lion were walking, suddenly the lion stopped somewhere. He gave a great roar there and came back very quietly without making any noise. He came back he started coming back. The dog was surprised at this view. He had never seen such a thing that the lion was afraid of. So it was a great surprise for the dog. Let's see. What is this surprise? "I smell a man coming this way," the lion said. The lion said, "I smell a man. A human being is coming on this way. We had better run for it on or we'll be in trouble." he said, the lion said, it is better to run away from here, otherwise there will be trouble for us, there will be problem for us. Oh, well then I'll say goodbye to you, dog said. The dog said, sorry, my dear master lion, now I have to say goodbye to you. You know, I want a master who is stronger than anyone on earth. I always want a master who is stronger than anyone on earth. So if you are afraid of man, then man must be the strongest animal or the strongest one on the earth. So I am going to be his servant. Sorry. And off the dog went to join the man, and he stayed with him and served him faithfully. This happened long, long ago, but to this day the dog is man's most loyal servant and knows no other master. And the dog came to the man and became his servant and has been serving man very faithfully. And this happened long, long ago. In the beginning of the chapter, we discussed that it was almost 20,000 years ago. And since then, the dogs have been faithful, loyal, very honest, and very polite servant of human beings, and they never went for another master. Here the story comes to the end. So dear friends, I hope you have understood this story. Now let's look at the key points of this story, the summary of this story in a few lines. Number 1, earlier dogs were their own masters and lived the way wolves do or the other animals do. Number 2, they were free like other animals. The turning point of the story, a newly born dog did not like to live in this way. This was the turning point. So he set out to find a new master for himself. On his way, he met a wolf. The wolf was ready to become his master. The dog thought that bear is stronger than wolf, so he went to the bear and asked him to become his master. The bear was afraid of lion, so the dog left and went to the lion. The lion was afraid of man, so the dog went to man and became his servant. After that, the dog served the man faithfully and always remained his servant. I hope you have enjoyed this story and understood it completely. Here is this summary of this story on this slide. You can look at it. Dear friends, now let's move for the textual exercise of this chapter. First of all, a few words here that we came across. Wander. Wander means move here and there. She was wandering the streets. She was moving here and there in the streets. Moo, the word is moo, or it means the noise that a cow makes. The cows moo. Okay, or looking at the bear, the cows mooed. Okay, next slide. Here is the word cliff. Cliff means high rock, like this, a steep slope rock. That is called cliff. Use in sentence. We walked along the cliff edge. Okay. Another word is hastily, in a hurry. I drank a hastily prepared soup. Okay, dear friends. So these were the words here. Now let's have the questions. working with the text at your page number 21. Here you have to discuss these questions with your friends in pairs, and then you have to give the answer. At each question, at the end of each question, something is given in this bracket. It means you can find the answer in these paragraphs of the story. Alright? So here is the first question. The first question is, why did the dog feel the need for a master? Answer is, the dog was sick and tired of going about alone in search of food, and he did not feel safe. So he decided to have a master. Alright? You can have a different language to answer the question. The fact will remain the same. Okay, let's move for the next question. Question number 2. Who did he first choose as his master? And the second part of the question, why did he leave that master? Okay, so who was the first master of the dog? The dog first chose a wolf as his master. The first master was wolf. But he found the wolf afraid of the bear. So he left the company of wolf. So why he left the company of wolf? Because he found that bear is stronger than wolf. Okay. Question number 3. Who did he choose next? Who was the next master of the dog after wolf? Next, the dog chose a bear as his master. Who was the next master? It was bear after wolf. And why? Because he was stronger than the wolf. Alright, I hope you understand these answers. Let's move. Question number 4. Sorry. Why did he serve the lion for a long time? Why did the dog serve the lion for a long time? Why? What was the reason? The dog served the lion for a long time because he had no complaint against him. There were no complaints. कोई शिकायत नहीं थी उसको, उसकी लाइफ बहुत अच्छी चल रही थी. सेकेंडली, ही फेल्ट सेफ एंड सिक्योर. बहुत सुरक्षित महसूस करता था वो. नो एनिमल डेयर टू टच हिम. वी रेड इन दिस स्टोरी. नो अदर वाइल्ड एनिमल डेयर टू डिस्प्लेस हिम. सो हिज लाइफ वॉज full of comfort and safety. So he served the lion for a long time. Question number 5. Who did he finally choose his master and why? Choose. Who did he finally choose his master and why? You can find this answer in the 9th and 10th paragraph of the story. Finally, who was the master? Man was the master, yes. The dog finally chose a man as his master. Even the lion was afraid of man. So, the dog was convinced that man was the strongest creature on earth. So, this is the reason why dog chose man as his final master. Okay, dear friends, let's move ahead. Here is another exercise. That is, make nouns from the words given below by adding ness, N-E-S-S or it by or N-E-S-S. We have to add it to make the noun form of these words. Most of them should belong to adjectives. Okay, let's look at them. The word is honest. Honest means imandar. When somebody is honest, he possesses some quality. We have to know that quality, that abstract noun of it. What is the quality that an honest man possesses? That is honesty. If somebody is kind, he has kindness in his heart. If somebody is cruel, that means he has cruelty in his behavior. If somebody is calm or if something is calm, there is calmness in him or in it. If somebody is sad, there is sadness in his heart. If someone is active, he must be doing some activity. If someone is creative, he must have creativity in his nature. Sincere. If someone is sincere, that means he has got sincerity. If something is bitter, then there is bitterness in it. The quality of being bitter is called bitterness. And if something is sensitive or someone is sensitive, then that thing or that being has sensitivity. And the last one is great. If someone is great, he must have greatness. Alright, dear students, so these are the answers for this exercise. Let's look at the next one. Here you have the exercise of giving that word used for a group. Like a word was used, a herd of cows. A group of cows is called a herd. So in the same way, some words are given. We have to think of these words that which word can be given to group of these things. They are called collective nouns. Okay. So ships. A group of ships is called fleet. A group of flowers is called bunch. A bunch of flowers. A brood of chicks, a herd of cattle, a bundle of sticks, a flock of sheep, a school of fish, and a pack of bulls. Okay, dear students, you understand it? Let's move it. Here is the summary of the story given below. Fill in the blanks to complete it, taking appropriate phrases from the box. You have to choose these phrases and you have to fill them in suitably to complete this story, the summary of this story. So the answer is on the next page. Here you can look at the answers. This is the story of a dog who used to be his own master. Number one, his own master. He decided to find a master is stronger than anyone else. This is the second. First, he found a wolf. The third blank. But the wolf was afraid of the bear. Fourth, the dog thought that the bear was strongest of all. After some time, the dog met a lion who seemed the strongest. He stayed with the lion for a long time. One day he realized that the lion was afraid of man, and to this day the dog remains man's best friend. So you can solve this exercise. Let's move further with the home assignment. The home assignment for this story, for this chapter is, number one, prepare the story in your own words. You have to prepare this story in your own words. You have to re-narrate the story. You have to rewrite this story in your own words. And homework number two is write a paragraph describing your favorite pet animal. Whatever is your favorite pet animal, you have to describe that in your own words. Alright, dear friends, so this is the home assignment. And here we comes to the completion of this chapter. I hope you understand it well, and if you have any doubt, you can have your questions in classes to your concerned teachers. Okay, thank you very much for watching this video. Keep learning, dear friends. Jai Hind.